Top stories in today's WINN TV News. Prime Minister says he is not a violent man in light of recent criticisms. The Bar Association condemns verbal attacks on the judiciary, and concerns persist about a woman living in the Halfway Tree Community Center. I'm Jamie Morris, and welcome to this edition of WINN TV News for February 3rd, 2015. Following a heavy bout of criticism that he is promoting violence on the political platform, Prime Minister Denzil Douglas has denied that he is a violent man. WINN TV's Ken Richards has more.
Addressing the country on his weekly radio program, Dr. Douglas said that because he and his governing Labour Party defend the achievements in the country with a passion, his opponents are trying to paint a picture of violence.
Everyone understands the passion with which we defend our democracy. People know me to be a non-violent man. I speak passionately. I believe in defending the rights of our people. I believe it is important that we defend our achievements as a country with passion in such a way that people understand we believe in what we are doing. I believe that everyone is aware that there are times when you can get very angry, especially when policies and programs which have been so successful in placing St. Kitts and Nevis to a #1 position are simply being minimized and scoffed at by those in the opposition who, for petty party political reasons and for their own political agendas, seem not to appreciate what our people have gone through.
So what did Prime Minister Douglas actually say on the political platform in his St. Paul's constituency?
Follow the leader! Follow the leader! We move into Sandy Point tomorrow. We will capture new territory in Sandy Point. Not one man stand alive, all man dead or wounded.
People have always tried to misconstrue what I say. And this is no exception at all with what, as the caller said, they're trying to string words together from different speeches that I have made and trying to paint a picture of violence, because they would want to get a particular political position and trying to jump ahead in a campaign that has already left them behind. It just will not work. I will continue to say very, very strongly the way I feel about what is happening in this country. I will continue to defend what we have achieved as a government and as a people. I will use language that is very strong and graphic to demonstrate exactly that.
His supporters are likely to agree with the Prime Minister that he just got carried away that night. His critics, though, say it will be hard to convince them that he wasn't preaching violence.
The St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association is condemning recent verbal attacks on the judiciary in traditional and social media. More in this report.
In a statement issued Monday, the Bar Association said it is concerned about spurious and unfair attacks being made in the traditional media and on social media against the court and judges of the court following recent judgments in politically sensitive matters. The court, it says, plays a critical role as a branch of government independent of the legislative branch, the National Assembly, and the executive, cabinet. Without the court and without the preservation of the respect of its judges and the decisions they render, our politically partisan society would fall apart. The court maintains the rule of law and protects our constitutional rights, the statement says. The association goes on to clarify that the court is not above criticism, even strong criticism. However, it says such criticism must be fair, based on facts, and moderated. Suggestions of bias or misconduct by a judge and any statement which brings the court into disrepute is contempt of court, which is an offence, it reminds. The association goes on to publish a section of the statement made to the court in Nevis by Madam Justice Lorraine Williams at the sitting on Friday the 30th, to welcome her to her permanent appointment as judge assigned to Nevis. The statement says that her words express very well the position of judges in the system. It reads, quote, The work of our courts is rightly a subject of considerable public interest, and the public interest is a clear and gratifying indication that in our country we are governed by the rule of law. Our courts have earned and maintained public confidence in their unfailing response to every reasonable application to the impartiality and the fearless administration of the law. We do not take pledges to support partisan causes or to decide any case according to popular opinion. Justice does not rely on the rhetoric at public rallies, talk shows, or opinion polls. It is done in accordance with the law, and the court should not be brought into public ridicule and contempt because of decisions of the court which are not in conformity with plans, convenient agendas, and opinions of others. If there is dissatisfaction with a decision of court, the redress that is available is via the established structures of the court, namely the Court of Appeal, the Caribbean Court of Justice, and the Privy Council. Political platforms, talk shows, and rallies serve their own purpose. We judges are the products of our societies, and we are human and therefore not infallible. When we err, the people are guaranteed redress by a higher court that will identify our lapses." End quote.
Still to come on the WINN TV News. Concerns persist about women living in the Halfway Tree Community Center.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
WINN FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. WINN FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 WINN FM.
Welcome back to the WINN TV News. Concerns persist about a woman living in the Halfway Tree Community Center. WINN TV's Andre Huey has this report.
I'm here in Halfway Tree, and I'm here with Mr. Wingrove Herbert, a resident of Halfway Tree. You would have heard a report we've done, or reports we've done previously, about a lady who's living in the community center here in Halfway Tree. Residents were complaining that they do not have use of the community center because of this person living here.
This is critical because the residents are asking me where would be the place of voting, and I am just as curious as they. As you can see that you have curtains up and it's like a dwelling house there. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had the minister or the minister of community affairs reaching out to the public to let us know whether this our community center would be the place for the polling station on election day. I mean, this is unacceptable for the people, the community. We have endured this for over a year.
So she's been in the community center for over a year,
and it's going for 2 years now. October last year would have made 1 year. So it's 1 year and 4 months, you could say. Never in the history I've ever heard anybody, and I can take you up there and show you where the lady was living and see if there's any fire up there.
All right, well, let's go up there and see
where she had this fire.
Yeah. So we'll go further up. Now, as I told you before, we were told by the minister and the member of parliament for the area, Mr. Glenn Phillip, that the lady had a fire, and I think he also said that her daughter had passed away. We're now taken to an area where we're told that she used to live. So this is the house where she used to live.
In a previous interview with WINN, Labour Party MP Glenn Phillip told us the government was arranging to have a house built for the lady. However, when we contacted him Tuesday, he noted that the house was not yet completed. When asked about the house we were shown where she lived before moving into the centre, Mr. Phillip could not say if this was her house, but said he knows she had experienced a fire. Prior to the woman living in the community centre, he said she was living in squalor while also losing her daughter. He said he will continue to help people who are in similar conditions. Mr. Phillip could not state whether the community centre will be used as a polling station, saying only the electoral officials could confirm this.
Finally, Martinique is about to become the first French-speaking Caribbean island to join the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. For more on this report, we join Ken Richards.
According to a release from the Castries-based OECS, the French territory will on Wednesday sign on as an associate member of the organization, increasing the 9-member grouping to 10. Officials say the historic signing of Martinique as an associate member of the OECS will take place at the Hotel La Batelier in Fort-de-France, Martinique during the opening ceremony of the 60th meeting of the OECS Authority. OECS Director General Dr. Didicus Jules, speaking about the involvement of Martinique in the sub-regional grouping, says there are limitations because of Martinique's status in relation to France. However, he says the development as an opening of great potential and widening the demographics from an economic perspective.
There was a vote at the Regional Assembly, which I attended. I addressed the Assembly, and they unanimously voted in favor. That happened about 3 months ago. From the day after the vote, we started treating Martinique effectively as an associate member because we were in the middle of doing our meetings on health to prepare for Ebola. And within 2 days, the Martinicans were part of the discussions on Ebola. They've been actively engaged with us in all sorts of discussions at the OECS.
Dr. Jules says the sub-region has seen the relationship grow between Martinique and St. Lucia and between Guadeloupe and Dominica, for example. What that does now is widen this to the whole OECS, he explained.
The use of Martinique as a tertiary health facility center for the OECS is something under discussion. So there are a lot of opportunities there. And one of the things that we are trying to shape as well is to boost. We are very concerned about not just ensuring growth in the economies of the OECS, but growth with equity. It's not enough to just grow the economy. If you're growing it and only the existing players benefit, it has to be the type of growth that leads to a widening of opportunity for smaller persons, a trickle-down effect, a spread of the benefits.
To end the WINN TV News, a look at the headlines. Prime Minister says he is not a violent man in light of recent criticisms, and the Bar Association condemns verbal attacks on the judiciary.